The Little Pigeon's Coop. Once upon a time, in a cozy little town, there lived a curious little pigeon named Pip. Pip had a lovely coop, painted bright yellow, with a tiny window where sunshine danced inside. Every morning, she fluffed her feathers and looked out to see the world. "Oh, what wonders await me today?" she would chirp excitedly. Her heart fluttered with joy as she dreamed of adventures beyond her little coop. One sunny day, Pip decided it was time to explore. She called her friends, Benny the rabbit and Sammy the squirrel. "Let's go on an adventure," she chirped. Together, they hopped and scampered to the big oak tree nearby. It was the tallest tree in the town, and Pip's heart raced with excitement. "What do you think we'll find up there?" asked Benny, twitching his nose. With a flap of her wings, Pip soared up the tree. "Follow me," she called. Benny hopped up the trunk and Sammy scampered up the branches. They reached a cozy branch with a perfect view of the town below. Suddenly, they spotted a rainbow stretching across the sky. "Look, it's magical," Pip exclaimed. They laughed and danced on the branch, feeling as if they were on top of the world. As they enjoyed the rainbow, Pip had an idea. "Let's chase the rainbow," she said. Down they went, racing through the trees and over the fields. They laughed, fluttered, and hopped, not stopping until they reached the end of the rainbow. There, they found a shimmering treasure of colorful stones. "These are beautiful," Sammy said, his eyes wide with wonder. With their treasure in tow, the friends returned to Pip's cozy coop. They knew that adventures were even better when shared with friends. That night, they placed the colorful stones in the coop and promised to have many more adventures together. And as Pip snuggled in her cozy nest, she smiled, dreaming of all the wonderful things tomorrow would bring. The story of Paula and Peter. Once upon a time, in a magical garden, there lived a fluffy puppy named Paula and a curious kitten named Peter. They loved to play together every day, exploring the colorful flowers and chasing butterflies. One sunny morning, Paula said, "Let's find the biggest flower in the garden." Peter's eyes sparkled with excitement as he replied, "Yes, let's go on an adventure." And off they went, wagging tails and twitching whiskers, ready for a day of fun. As they wandered deeper into the garden, they met a friendly rabbit named Ruby. "Hello, Paula and Peter," she said, hopping over. "What are you looking for?" Paula wagged her tail and said, "We're searching for the biggest flower." Ruby smiled and pointed with her paw. "Follow me, I know just the place." Excited, Paula and Peter followed Ruby, their hearts full of joy and laughter. They soon arrived at the tallest flower they had ever seen. It was a giant sunflower stretching high into the sky. "Wow," said Peter, his eyes wide with wonder. Paula barked happily, "Let's climb up and see the view." But how could they reach the top? They thought and thought. Then Paula had a brilliant idea. "Let's work together," she exclaimed. "I can help you up and you can pull me up too." With teamwork, Paula jumped up while Peter climbed on her back. Together, they reached the top of the sunflower. From up high, they saw the entire garden bursting with colors and life. "We did it!" they cheered, their voices ringing out in glee. They learned that with friendship and teamwork, they could achieve anything. As they climbed back down, they knew they would have many more adventures together. The Little Duck's Pond. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow, there was a little duck named Ducky. Ducky had a bright yellow coat and a cheerful quack. He loved to swim in his favorite pond, where the water sparkled like diamonds. One lovely morning, Ducky paddled around, splashing and playing, when he noticed something unusual. What could it be? With a swish of his tail, Ducky swam closer to the edge of the pond. There, he found a shiny silver pebble. "Wow!" Ducky exclaimed. "I've never seen a pebble like this before." Just then, his friend Freddie the Frog hopped over and said, "That's a magic pebble, Ducky. It can grant one wish." Ducky thought long and hard about his wish. "I wish for all my friends to join me for a fun day at the pond," he finally decided. In an instant, the magic pebble glowed brightly, and just like that, all the pond creatures came swimming in. The fish danced, the dragonflies twirled, and everyone had a blast. That day, Ducky realized the best magic of all was the joy of friendship. As the sun began to set, they all gathered by the water's edge, watching the colors of the sky change. "Thank you, Magic Pebble," Ducky quacked happily, "for bringing us all together." The Sailing Ship of Sally and Sam. Once upon a time, on a sunny morning, Sally and Sam found a magical sailing ship by the shore. The ship was bright yellow with blue stripes and had the shiniest sails you could ever see. "Let's go on an adventure," shouted Sally, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Sam grinned and put on his captain's hat. They climbed aboard, ready to sail into the sparkling sea. As they sailed, the waves danced around them, and Sally waved to a friendly dolphin jumping beside the ship. "Hello, dolphin," she called. The dolphin flipped and splashed, as if saying hello back. Sam laughed and pointed to a cluster of colorful fish swimming below. "Look, Sally, there are rainbow fish." They both giggled as the fish twinkled like jewels in the water. Suddenly, they spotted something shiny on the horizon. "What could that be?" wondered Sam. As they sailed closer, they discovered a treasure chest floating on the water. "Let's open it," said Sally, her heart racing with joy. They gently pulled the chest onto their ship and opened it wide. Inside, they found sparkling seashells, glittering jewels, and a magical map. With the magical map, Sally and Sam knew they could explore even more adventures. They sailed back to the shore, their hearts filled with joy and dreams of future journeys. "What will we find next time?" asked Sam, as they hopped off the ship, holding their treasure tight. "The world is full of wonders," replied Sally, grinning from ear to ear. The Magic of Friendship Forest. Once upon a time, in a magical place called Friendship Forest, lived a little squirrel named Sammy. Sammy loved to gather acorns and play among the trees, but he was a bit shy. One sunny day, while he was hopping around, he heard a sweet voice singing. Curious, Sammy followed the lovely sound deeper into the forest. As Sammy reached a sunny clearing, he saw a brave bunny named Bella, singing with joy. Bella had the fluffiest white fur and long ears that danced as she sang. "Hello," Bella called. "Want to join me? We can go on an adventure." Sammy felt a flutter in his heart. Could he be brave enough to make a new friend? Sammy took a deep breath and said, "Yes, I would love to." Bella smiled wide and said, "Great, let's find the friendship flower. It only blooms when friends work together." Sammy's eyes sparkled with excitement. Together, they set off on their adventure, hopping and skipping through the forest. Along the way, they met a wise old owl who said, "To find the friendship flower, you must help each other along the way." Sammy and Bella nodded and promised to work together. They climbed over logs, jumped across streams, and shared their snacks. Every time they helped each other, the forest sparkled a little more. Finally, after a day of fun, they found a beautiful flower glowing in the moonlight. It was the friendship flower. It opened up, showering them with sparkling light. Sammy and Bella hugged each other tightly, knowing their friendship had made the magic happen. "We did it together," they cheered. From that day forward, Sammy and Bella became the best of friends. They played together every day in Friendship Forest, sharing laughter and adventures. And every time they saw the friendship flower, they remembered how wonderful it was to have a friend by your side. The triangle of teamwork. Once upon a time, in the land of Shapesville, lived three best friends: Tilly the triangle, Benny the circle, and Sammy the square. They loved to play together in the sunny meadow. Tilly was sharp and pointy, Benny was smooth and round, and Sammy was strong with four corners. They all brought something special to their friendship. One sunny day, they decided to build a magical fort. Tilly suggested they use her sharp points to make the roof, while Sammy said his sturdy shape would be perfect for the walls. Benny wanted to help too, but he wasn't sure how he could fit in. "I'm just a circle," he sighed. But Tilly and Sammy quickly cheered him up. "You're not just a circle, Benny. You can help us make the round door," they exclaimed. Benny perked up. "A round door? That sounds fun." Together, they began to build their fort, each adding their own special touch. After lots of laughter and teamwork, the fort was finally complete. It was the most colorful fort in all of Shapesville, with a pointy roof, strong walls, and a round door that swung open perfectly. They all cheered, "Hooray for teamwork!" They realized that together, they could create something wonderful. From that day on, Tilly, Benny, and Sammy knew that their differences made them stronger. They learned that when they combined their unique shapes, they could build amazing things together. And so, in the land of Shapesville, the triangle of teamwork became a spark of magic for everyone to see. The Easter egg hunt of Emma and Ethan. One sunny morning, Emma and Ethan woke up with big smiles on their faces. "It's Easter!" they shouted, jumping out of bed. Today was the day of the big Easter egg hunt in their colorful garden. They quickly got dressed, grabbed their baskets, and raced outside to see what surprises awaited them. The garden was bursting with color, and the air was filled with the sweet smell of blooming flowers. As they entered the garden, they were greeted by their furry friends, Benny the bunny and Tilly the bird. "Hooray, it's egg hunting time," chirped Tilly, fluttering around. "Look over there." pointed Benny with a twitch of his nose. Emma and Ethan giggled with delight and ran to the spot Benny pointed at. They spotted their first hidden egg, a shiny blue one tucked behind a bush. With each step, they found colorful eggs of all shapes and sizes, red, yellow, and even polka-dotted ones. "Look at this one," exclaimed Emma, holding up a sparkly green egg. Ethan smiled and said, "Let's see who can find the most eggs." They giggled and raced around the garden, their baskets filling up with treasures. But then they noticed something unusual, a giant egg, bigger than any they had ever seen. They approached the giant egg with wide eyes. It was painted in rainbow colors and sparkled in the sunlight. "What do you think is inside?" whispered Ethan. Emma shrugged, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Together, they tapped the egg gently. To their surprise, it opened with a soft pop, revealing a shower of confetti and a tiny note that read, "Share the joy of Easter." Emma and Ethan looked at each other and smiled. They knew what they had to do. "Let's share our eggs with our friends," they exclaimed. They gathered all the colorful eggs and invited Benny and Tilly to join in the fun. They spread the eggs around the garden, creating a joyful surprise for everyone. Their hearts filled with happiness as they celebrated friendship and sharing this special day together. The Green Expedition of Gracie and Greg. One sunny morning in the greenest forest, Gracie the frog woke up with a big smile. "Today is the day for an adventure," she croaked excitedly. She hopped around her lily pad, splashing water everywhere. Just then, Greg the snail peeked out from his cozy shell. "What adventure, Gracie?" he asked with wide eyes. "Let's explore the magical green forest," Gracie said, waving her tiny webbed feet. Greg smiled, feeling brave. Off they went, ready to discover new things. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they found tall trees swaying gently in the breeze. "Look at those giant mushrooms," Gracie exclaimed, pointing with her little foot. Greg slowly crawled closer, amazed at the colors. Suddenly, a friendly bluebird flew by. "Hello there, are you on an expedition?" she chirped. "Yes," they both shouted. The bluebird flapped her wings and said, "Follow me, I know a secret spot." The bluebird led Gracie and Greg to a hidden glade filled with sparkling flowers and dancing fireflies. "Wow, it's so beautiful," gasped Gracie, her eyes sparkling. Greg looked around, his shell glistening in the sunlight. "This is amazing," he said, sliding over to a bright flower. They twirled and danced, feeling the magic of the forest. "Let's play tag among the flowers," Gracie suggested, and off they went, laughing and having fun. After a fun day of playing, Gracie and Greg sat down to rest. "This was the best adventure ever," Gracie said, her heart full of happiness. Greg nodded, his eyes shining. "I couldn't have done it without you, Gracie," he said. Gracie smiled, knowing that together they could explore anything. As the sun began to set, they promised to have more adventures in the green forest, side by side, forever friends. Four Little Chicks Big Hatching. On a sunny morning, in a cozy little chicken coop, 4 eggs began to wiggle and jiggle. Inside each egg, 4 little chicks were ready for their big adventure. Peep, peep, chirped Chickie, the yellow chick, as she nudged her shell with her tiny beak. "I want to see the world." Soon, one by one, the eggs cracked open. Out popped Chickie, followed by Brownie, the adventurous brown chick, then Fluffy, the gray chick, and finally Snow, the little white chick. They all flapped their tiny wings and cheeped happily. "Look at us. We're free." The little chicks explored their cozy coop, filled with soft hay and warm sunlight. They found shiny bugs and colorful flowers outside. "Let's play hide and seek," chirped Brownie. The chicks giggled and ran around, their fluffy feathers fluttering in the breeze. Suddenly, they heard a soft cluck. It was their mother hen. "Chickies, it's time for lunch," she called. The chicks scampered back to her, chirping excitedly. Mother hen had brought them tasty seeds and fresh water. They pecked and chirped, munching happily together. After their delicious lunch, the chicks snuggled under their mother's wings, feeling safe and happy. As the sun set, they closed their eyes, dreaming of more adventures to come. Together, they had shared a wonderful day, and tomorrow would be even bigger. The friendly American goldfinches call. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow, there lived a cheerful little bird named Goldie. Goldie was an American goldfinch with bright yellow feathers and a sweet, melodious call. Every morning, she would perch on a tall sunflower and sing her lovely song, filling the meadow with happiness. "Tweet, tweet, tweet," she would chirp, and all the animals would listen, smiling at her joyful tune. One sunny day, as Goldie sang her sweet song, Benny the bunny hopped over. "Goldie, your singing is so beautiful," he exclaimed, his little nose twitching with delight. Lucy the ladybug flew by and landed on a nearby leaf. "Yes, your voice makes everything feel so happy," she chimed in. Goldie smiled and continued to sing, her heart filling with joy as her friends gathered around to listen. Then Timmy the turtle slowly wandered over, his shell shining in the sun. "Goldie, your song makes me feel like dancing," he said with a big smile. Goldie flapped her wings excitedly. "Let's all dance together," she called out. And with that, Goldie sang her happiest song yet, the notes twirling through the air like a gentle breeze. Benny hopped, Lucy danced, and even Timmy wiggled his little feet. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Goldie finished her song. "Thank you, my friends. You made my day so special," she chirped happily. Benny, Lucy, and Timmy cheered, knowing that together they had shared a beautiful moment. From that day on, every time Goldie sang, her friends would join in, turning each song into a celebration of friendship. The Little Song Sparrow's Call. Once upon a time, in a sunny green forest, there lived a little song sparrow named Melody. She had the brightest feathers and the sweetest little beak. But there was one thing that made Melody different. She was too shy to sing her beautiful songs. Every morning, she would listen to the other birds chirp and tweet, but she just sat quietly on her branch, dreaming of the songs she wished she could sing. One bright morning, as the sun peeked through the leaves, Melody saw her friend Benny the rabbit hopping by. "Why don't you sing, Melody?" he asked, twitching his nose. Your songs would make the flowers bloom even brighter. But Melody just shook her head. She wanted to sing, but the thought of it made her heart race. Then came wise old Ollie the owl, swooping down from his tree. "Melody, my dear," he said with a twinkle in his eye, "everyone has a special song inside them. You must let it out." With a flutter of her wings, Melody thought about Ollie's words. Could she really share her song with the world? Feeling a little braver, Melody took a deep breath and closed her eyes. She imagined the flowers dancing to her song, the trees swaying, and the sun smiling down. With all her might, she opened her beak and sang a sweet, cheerful tune. The forest filled with her lovely melody, and all the animals stopped to listen. From that day on, Melody sang every morning, brightening the forest with her beautiful songs. The flowers bloomed brighter, and all her friends danced around her, celebrating the little song sparrows call. And Melody learned that sharing her voice was the best gift of all. The heart of kindness. Once upon a time, in a bright and sunny forest, there lived a big, fluffy bear named Benny. Benny loved to play, dance, and sing with his friends. But one day, he noticed that his friends were feeling a bit down. The rabbit was sad because he lost his favorite carrot, and the squirrel was worried because it was too quiet. Benny thought hard. How could he help them feel better? Benny had an idea. He gathered some flowers and made a big, beautiful bouquet. He ran to his rabbit friend and said, "Here, this is for you. I picked these just for you because you make me smile." The rabbit's eyes lit up, and he hopped around with joy, forgetting all about his lost carrot. Next, Benny thought of the squirrel. He noticed the squirrel looking lonely on a branch. So he climbed up and said, "Let's play together. I brought some acorns for us to share." The squirrel's frown turned into a big smile as they started to play, laugh, and share acorns together. As the sun began to set, Benny felt a warm glow in his heart. He realized that kindness was like magic. It made everyone happier. All the animals in the forest gathered around him, and they shared stories, laughter, and more acts of kindness. Benny smiled and said, "When we are kind to each other, we fill our hearts with happiness." From that day on, Benny and his friends made a promise to always be kind to one another. They discovered that kindness was the most wonderful thing in the world. And so, their hearts were always full of joy, and they lived happily ever after, spreading kindness everywhere they went. The happy blue grosbeak's melody. In a sunny forest, where the trees danced and the flowers giggled, lived a happy blue grosbeak. He had the brightest blue feathers and a heart full of joy. Every morning, he would wake up and sing a lovely melody that floated through the air like a soft breeze. The other animals loved his songs, and they would gather around to listen. "What a beautiful day," chirped the squirrel, tapping his tiny feet to the rhythm. "Your song makes everything feel extra special." One day, as the blue grosbeak sang his favorite tune, he noticed a shy little deer hiding behind a bush. The deer looked sad and lonely. "Why don't you join us?" called the blue grosbeak with a warm smile. "My song is more fun with friends. The deer peeked out, her big eyes sparkling with curiosity. Slowly, she stepped closer, swaying gently to the music. The blue grosbeak continued to sing, filling the forest with happiness. As the days went by, the blue grosbeak's melody brought more friends together. The bunny danced, the squirrel twirled, and the deer pranced happily. They all joined in, creating a wonderful harmony. "Let's make music together," the blue grosbeak exclaimed with joy. Soon, animals from all over the forest came to join the fun. The happy sounds of laughter and music filled the air, and the forest became a place of joy and celebration. From that day on, the blue grosbeak's melody echoed through the trees, reminding everyone that music is best when shared with friends. The forest was never quiet again, filled with the sounds of laughter and joy. And every time the blue grosbeak sang, the animals knew that they could join in, creating their own beautiful symphony of friendship. Together, they discovered that the happiest melodies are those made with love. The chorus of kindness. In a bright, sunny forest where flowers danced in the breeze lived a rabbit named Ruby. Ruby loved to hop around, singing sweet songs. One day, while bouncing through the meadow, she met Ollie the owl. "Hello, Ollie," she chirped. "Your feathers are so beautiful today." Ollie smiled, his heart fluttering like a butterfly. "Thank you, Ruby. Your singing is a delight." Excited by their kind words, Ruby and Ollie decided to spread kindness throughout the forest. They hopped and flew to find their friends. They found Felix the fox, who was feeling a bit blue. "Felix, you are so clever," Ruby exclaimed. Felix's ears perked up. "Really? Thank you. I feel much better now." Next, they visited Dina the deer, who loved to play hide and seek. "Dina, your games are the best," Ollie hooted. Dina blushed and replied, "Oh, thank you. Let's play together." With that, they all joined in a game, laughter ringing through the trees like music. As the day went on, all the animals gathered in a circle. Ruby suggested, "Let's share our kind words and make a chorus of kindness." One by one, the animals shared something kind about each other. They sang sweet praises, and their hearts filled with joy. The forest echoed with their beautiful chorus, making every creature feel special. From that day on, the forest was never the same. Every time someone felt down, their friends would sing the chorus of kindness, lifting their spirits. And so, in the heart of the forest, kindness became the most beautiful song of all, uniting every creature in a warm embrace. The rainbow of colors. Once upon a time, in a cozy little village, there lived a girl named Lily. She loved colors. Red, blue, green, and yellow, each one made her heart sing. One sunny day, while picking flowers in the meadow, Lily spotted something shimmering in the sky. It was a beautiful rainbow. "Hello, little girl," the rainbow called down. "Would you like to join me on a colorful adventure?" Lily jumped with joy. "Oh, yes, please," she exclaimed. The rainbow smiled wider and swooped down to meet her. "Let's explore the land of colors." With a whoosh, they flew together over fields of flowers that danced in the wind. Each flower was a different shade, creating a magical rainbow carpet below them. They landed beside a sparkling blue lake where the water reflected every color of the rainbow. "Look," said the rainbow, "every color is special. Red is bold, yellow is sunny, and blue is calm." As Lily watched, she saw fish leap out of the water, splashing colors everywhere. "Wow," she gasped. "It's like a color party." Then the rainbow took Lily to a tall green hill. "See those clouds?" it asked. "They can change colors too." With a flick of its rainbow sparkles, the clouds turned pink and purple. Lily laughed and twirled around. "I love colors," she shouted. The rainbow nodded. "Together, we create a beautiful world." As the sun began to set, painting the sky with warm oranges and soft purples, Lily knew it was time to go home. "Thank you for the adventure," she said, hugging the rainbow. "I'll always remember the magic of colors." The rainbow smiled and whispered, "Whenever you see me in the sky, remember that every color is a part of you." The Friends of Sunny Street. Once upon a time, on a sunny little street, lived three best friends: Benny the bunny, Tilly the tortoise, and Sammy the squirrel. Benny loved to hop high in the air. Tilly took her time, slowly exploring every flower. Sammy, with his fluffy tail, dashed around collecting acorns. Together, they made Sunny Street the happiest place in the world. Every morning, they would meet under the big oak tree to plan their adventures. One day, they decided to have a treasure hunt. Benny said, "Let's find the biggest acorn in the park." Tilly nodded with her wise eyes, and Sammy squeaked, "I'll race you there." Off they went, hopping, crawling, and dashing down Sunny Street, searching high and low. They peeked behind bushes, under rocks, and even in the pond. Suddenly, Benny spotted something shiny under a big, leafy tree. "Look!" he shouted. They all rushed over, and there it was, a huge, glittering acorn. They cheered, jumping with joy. "This is the best treasure ever!" Sammy exclaimed. They decided to share it, making it a symbol of their friendship. From that day on, the Friends of Sunny Street knew that the best treasures were not just shiny acorns, but the adventures they shared together. Every day was a new chance to explore, laugh, and make memories. And as the sun set, they promised to always be the best of friends, no matter what adventures lay ahead. The Happy Hedgehog's Day. Once upon a time, in a sunny woodland, there lived a happy little hedgehog named Henry. Today was a very special day, Henry's birthday. When he opened his eyes, the sun was shining bright, and the birds were singing sweet melodies. "What a perfect day for an adventure," he squeaked with joy. He stretched his tiny paws and rolled out of his cozy bed made of leaves and moss. Henry was ready to celebrate. Henry scurried out of his home and into the colorful forest. He picked bright flowers and gathered yummy berries. As he danced from flower to flower, he spotted his best friend, Bella the bunny. "Happy birthday, Henry," Bella exclaimed, hopping over with a big basket of delicious carrots. "Let's have a party." Henry's heart filled with happiness as they planned the best birthday celebration ever. Soon, they met Freddie the fox, who wanted to join the fun. "I can help with the games," he said with a sly grin. Then Tina the tortoise slowly waddled over, bringing a special cake made of tasty leaves. "I baked this just for you, Henry," she said proudly. Now, with all his friends gathered, Henry felt the warmth of friendship all around him. They sang songs, played hide-and-seek, and danced with the butterflies. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Henry felt grateful. Surrounded by laughter and love, he knew this was the best birthday ever. "Thank you, everyone," he said, his heart bursting with joy. They all cheered, "Happy birthday, Henry." Together, they watched the stars twinkle, knowing that every day could be happy when shared with friends. The happy smile of Henry. Once upon a time, in a bright blue sky, there lived a little son named Henry. Henry was no ordinary son. He had the biggest, happiest smile you could ever imagine. Every morning, he would wake up, stretch his rays, and shine his golden light all around. The clouds would giggle and dance, and the birds would sing sweet songs just for him. One day, Henry noticed his friends, the clouds, looking a little gray and gloomy. "What's wrong, my fluffy friends?" he called out, his smile shining even brighter. The clouds sighed, "We don't feel very happy today." Henry knew just what to do. "Let's play a game," he suggested, his voice sparkling with excitement. Henry gathered all the clouds and said, "Let's race to the rainbow." The clouds perked up, their grayness melting away. Off they zoomed, fluffy and fast, racing through the sky. Henry cheered them on, his laughter ringing like a melody. Before long, the clouds were laughing and playing, their beautiful white fluff shining brightly in Henry's golden glow. When they reached the rainbow, the clouds swirled around it, creating a beautiful display of colors. "Look at us," they exclaimed, feeling happy and bright. Henry's smile grew even wider, for he knew that happiness is best when shared with friends. From that day on, the clouds never forgot to play with Henry and spread their joy across the sky. The Little Hand of Hannah. Once upon a time, in a sunny little town, there lived a girl named Hannah. Hannah had a special hand, a little hand that could draw the most wonderful pictures. With her crayons in hand, she would sit under her favorite tree and create colorful worlds full of giggles and smiles. One day, Hannah drew a fluffy bunny with big, floppy ears. She wished with all her heart for the bunny to hop out of her drawing. And just like magic, the bunny wiggled its nose and jumped right into her lap. "Thank you for bringing me to life," said the bunny with a cheerful grin. Hannah and the bunny, whom she named Binky, became the best of friends. They played hide and seek among the flowers, danced with the butterflies, and even made up silly songs. Every time Hannah drew something new, it would come to life, and their adventures grew more exciting. One sunny afternoon, Hannah decided to draw a huge rainbow. She wished for it to be the brightest ever. Suddenly, the sky filled with colors and the rainbow arched above them, sparkling and shimmering. "Let's slide down it," Binky exclaimed. Together, they climbed up and whooshed down the rainbow, laughing all the way. As the sun began to set, Hannah and Binky returned to their favorite tree. "Thank you for the best day ever," Hannah said, hugging her fluffy friend. And as she drew a picture of their adventures, she knew that with her little hand, every day could be magical.